Hi everyone, my name is Maddie, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video where I'm going to be doing my April book haul. So I say April book haul, some of these books have actually arrived in the first week of May, but for the sake of me just hauling all the books I've got recently, I'm just going to do up until today, and I'm filming this on like the 7th of May, so we're going to go with it. I do actually have a surprisingly large number of books. I didn't get very many in April, but then I got quite a few in this first week of May, so the number's gone up a little bit and I've actually got some scarily big stacks, much bigger than I expected. So we're just going to jump straight in. As always, we're going to go through them in 3 categories. We're going to do books sent to me by publishers, books sent to me by you guys, and then books I got for myself. So we are going to start, as always, with books from publishers, which I actually have a decent few of this time. Also, apologies for my hair in this video. I am having one of those days where it's just not playing ball and it's annoying me to no end, but we're just going to try and power through and film anyway. But starting with books from publishers, I first off have 2 books from Harper 360. These are both sent to me, and these are both actually trans YA contemporary books, which I'm really excited for. So first off is Meet Cute Diary by Emery Lee. This is one of my most anticipated releases for the year. Both of these were actually on my top 50 LGBT anticipated yearly releases video, so definitely very anticipated. Meet Cute Diary follows, I can't remember the main character's name, Noah, who is behind this blog called Meet Cute Diary, and it's all these adorable trans meet cutes being documented. But then I think basically it comes out that this is all made up. It's not real stories, it's just writing that this person's doing, and I think there's some like backlash. I don't know exactly, but I know this is meant to be a super fun, super cute rom-com. The author's been really like adamant in the fact that this is not meant to be hard-hitting, this is not meant to be like deep, it's just fun, because fun books are a thing we need more of. So I'm really excited to read this one. I will likely read both of these at the same time and do like a vlog, but we'll see if that ends up happening. But then moving on to the unpopular vote, this, I'm really excited by who's this by, Jasper Sanchez, that's the one. And this follows Mark, who has learned everything they know about politics from their father, who is a congressman, and Mark, I think, is planning to stand for student body president, and has always like refused to come out as trans because they know it'll impact their father's career and all of this. And then something happens and I think they kind of feel like now is the time that they do actually need to come out as trans and be who they are. And yeah, I'm so excited for this one. The cover is stunning. Both of these covers are absolutely beautiful. And I'm so excited to read both of them. And they're coming out in May, I think it's actually just come out, and June of this year. So pretty soon. Next up from Usborne is actually a book I finished reading yesterday, and that is The Outrage by William Hussey. This is a YA LGBT dystopia and follows the UK set like 50-ish years in the future, where an event called The Outrage has happened and this practically dictatorial leader has come in and just changed the country and outlawed people being LGBT, like so many things that we would consider completely fine nowadays have reverted back to how they were in God knows what era. And it's just a complete mess, and you're following some main characters who are LGBT and kind of considering fighting back and continuing, and it's really interesting. There's a lot of very interesting discussions in this about how people in different situations in the same world have very different impacts of it, and also a lot about relating it to the real world that we're currently in and sort of saying, you know, it's all well and good that we have these rights at the moment. I mean, a lot of places don't, but we do currently in the UK, but how easily they could revert. And how many people are fighting for that to happen. So yeah, super interesting read. I really recommend it. Thank you to Usborne for sending it to me. And you'll be seeing my full thoughts on this very soon in an LGBT dystopian video, which should be going out in the next week or so. And then the final review copy I got is The Wolfram Woodsman by Ava Reid. This was sent to me by Del Rey, so thank you to them. I don't know a huge amount about this one. I've seen it around a lot. I've seen a lot of people talking about it, and I know it's a new adult, I think, fantasy story based on Jewish folklore. Yeah, it says here, a dark, evocative and unforgettable fantasy debut steeped in Hungarian history and own voices Jewish mythology, exploring deep themes including ethno-nationalism and religious persecution. I don't know much about it, but I'm very intrigued. I mean, and honestly, this is just one of the most gorgeous arcs I've ever received. Just look at that shine and the flop. Like, I'm really excited, and I've heard, as I said, a lot of hype about this one. And I'm very intrigued to give it a go. I have no idea when I will, because fitting another 450-page fantasy on my TBR is not something that's very easy to do at the moment. But I am intrigued, and I'm sure this is one of those that when the hype starts picking up, I'll get, like, drawn in and just want to read it straight away. And then moving on to books from you guys. Firstly, we do have this, which is actually from my mum, which sent it from my wishlist, which is Bedazzled by Ryan Lasala. This I am so excited for. I really enjoyed Reverie by Ryan Lasala, so I'm very optimistic that I will enjoy this one as well. And this follows, again, names, Raffi, who really enjoys bedazzling and sewing and stitching, basically making clothes and costumes. And they get put with their ex-boyfriend to work on like an art project, which is to do with cosplay. And I think it's like a second chance romance, like making friends with the next kind of thing. I'm really intrigued, and it's gorgeous, and I'm really excited. And yeah, we're moving into summer, which is, you know, I've been reading fantasy for 6 months, and so I want to start reading contemporary again, so it's perfect timing for something like this. Next up, we've got a few romance books. So firstly, from Kitty, we have The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. I don't know a huge amount about this, but I think it follows someone going to Alaska to live with their dad, and I think it's like relatively slightly darker almost, and it's a romance. And I feel like I don't need to know anything more. I can't remember who now, but I know there's a lot of big American booktubers who've read this and loved it, so I'm super, super, super intrigued to give it a go. I feel like it might be a second chance romance as well. Okay, so no, it may not be second chance romance, but it sounds kind of like a slight enemies to lovers kind of vibe, because the pilot who's flown her out to Alaska really just doesn't think she's going to get along there and needs to leave and go back to her city life, and she's stubborn, so stays, and a romance starts forming. So that sounds like there's going to be banter, there's going to be tension. I'm here for it. Next up, also from Kitty, is Sweet Hand by N.G. Peltier, and this I'm so excited for. This follows two lifelong rivals, Charisse and Kieran, and they've come back to Trinidad at the same time, and I think they have like competing bakeries, maybe? Oh my god, yeah, okay, so Kieran's close friend is getting ready to marry Charisse's sister, and their best man and maid of honor, and yeah, they're a successful pastry chef, and oh, it sounds so fun. A romance which is enemies to lovers and has baking in it. Like, I'm so here for this. Again, one of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen. Bit obsessed. Cannot wait to get to this one. And then next up from Christie, we have Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm a huge fan of Taylor Jenkins Reid's books. This is one of few of them that I've not read so far, and I've enjoyed every single one. And this sounds so good. This follows Elise, who is average 20-something, and on New Year's Day, she meets a guy. They instantly fall for each other, instant chemistry, and within a few months have eloped and got married. And then not very long after this, he ends up being killed in like a road accident, and she has to meet the mother-in-law, who literally doesn't know she exists, as this guy's wife, and just reconcile everything. So I think you're seeing like the romance, and you're also seeing that reconciliation, and it just sounds fantastic. And I trust Taylor Jenkins Reid to break me as a human, because she has done almost every single time so far. And then moving into slightly more fantasy, we have Raven Song by TJ Klune. This was sent to me by, what was the name? Christine. And I'm so excited for this. I have not read Wolf Song yet, but as anyone who's watched my videos before probably knows, I'm a big fan of TJ Klune. I've read The Extraordinaries and House in Cerulean Sea by him, and adore both. They're two of my favourite books of last year. I'm really anticipating two of his books this year, which is the sequel to The Extraordinaries, Flashfire, and the next book, adult book he's writing, which is Under the Whispering Door. So anticipating both of those, but the Wolf Song series is one I am dying to read. Like, I cannot wait to read this series, and so having book 2 just makes me really excited, because then whenever I do get around to book 1, which I want to say will hopefully be soon, but who knows, I can just read all the way through, because I feel like this is definitely going to be the sort of series that once I've picked it up, I'm not going to want to put it down. And then from Kayla, we do have Where Dreams Descend, which I'm so excited about. I feel like I don't know how to give a synopsis of this, but I know Darian from Darian Reads absolutely adores this book, and because her and I both love Strange the Dreamer so much, I like massively trust her taste. And so this is in a city covered in ice and ruin. A group of magicians face off in a daring game of magical feats to find the next headliner of the conquering circus. Fame and glory await the winner, but no contestant is safe when an unseen danger begins striking behind the scenes. Okay, so yeah, I do vaguely remember it feels like, you know, theatre setting, here for this. Circuses, love it. Feels kind of Night Circus-esque, kind of Phantom of the Opera-esque, though I might be wrong on that. It might just be the chandelier and curtains that's giving me that vibe, but nonetheless, I'm super excited, and this is one of the most stunning books. Like, look at those end papers. I seem to remember it's pretty underneath as well. Yeah, oh, it's such a pretty book, and I'm kind of obsessed with it. I'm going to have to start second stack in a minute. That is threatening to fall on me rapidly. But we do now have 2 books, I think both from Megan, if I remember correctly, if memory serves. Yeah, so both of these are from Megan, and they are The Saviours Champion by Jenna Moreci and Piranesi by Susan Clarke. I'm so excited for both of these. Very brief overview, as much as I can for this one. Saviours Champion follows a kind of dystopian world where everyone lives underground, and these like 21 men have to compete to be the Saviours Champion, like compete for her hand in marriage. I think it's meant to be really, really dark. It's meant to be maybe a bit steamy, I'm not sure, but Megan and I are going to try and buddy read this at some point. I've said this before, it's one of the heaviest books I've ever owned in my life. Like, I don't know what paper they have made this book from, but it's so heavy. I love it, it's fantastic, but it's just so damn heavy and I'm not quite sure how. But yes, thank you to Megan for this one, and also for Piranesi by Susan Clarke. Susanna Clarke, not Susan. And I don't actually have a clue what this is about. It's, I'm pretty sure, like a Pan retelling, like the folktale of Pan. And I know, yeah, it's written in like notebook format. I don't know, it's like gives me Erin Morgenstern, Laini Taylor vibes. It feels like the exact, yeah, I mean, it's blurred by Erin Morgenstern. It's the exact kind of book I think I'm going to love. So I don't actually want to know the synopsis considering how short it is. I just want to read it and experience it. And this is another one where Under the Dust Jacket is just incredibly beautiful. Like, look at this. It says, like, that's just stunning. I'm absolutely obsessed and cannot wait to read this one, hopefully in June for WHATEVER-YOU-WANT, if I can, because it fits my team's genre perfectly. I knew it was going to happen. Okay, stacks were a cute idea, we are abandoning. No more precarious stacks on the back of a sofa. It's just a bad idea. But now we're going to move into the books that I've bought myself, and there's definitely more in this stack than there should be. So the first book we have is The Mirror Season by Anna-Marie McLemore. I'm so excited for this. I actually bought this for myself because, for anyone that doesn't know, I have a Patreon, and on my Patreon we, every couple of weeks or so, play dart sprints, which is reading sprints, but I throw at Dart Attack to decide how long we're going to sprint for, and there is a circle in the middle which is reward, and if you get that you can reward yourself, so like buy a book or get takeout, whatever you fancy. And we got that kind of the first time we played, so I bought myself a book, and I bought The Mirror Season by Anna-Marie McLemore. I've only read one of Anna-Marie McLemore's books before, and I really enjoyed it, but I haven't tried any others yet. I have a couple others, but I've just not got around to reading them. But this one just sounds phenomenal. It's about 2 teenagers who I think have both dealt with like sexual abuse in some way or sexual assault, and they, I guess, come together and kind of deal with it together, or you might be following their stories separately. I'm not completely sure, but it's a story of trauma and healing, and it just sounds fantastic. And again, the cover is beyond beautiful, and I think there's pansexual rep in this one because I remember Anna-Marie McLemore talking about the fact that like it was the pan colours on the front, so I seem to remember that's a thing, but we'll find out when I read it, which again, hopefully soon. Next up, we have probably one of the most exciting books I've got in a really long time, and it's actually a graphic novel, and that is The Drowned by Laini Taylor and Jim DiBartolo. This is a graphic novel I have known existed in abstract for ages, but I kind of assumed wasn't a thing you could still buy, and it's a story written by Laini Taylor, and then all the illustrations are done by Jim DiBartolo, and I found out a few weeks ago, like mid-April maybe, that they were selling them on Jim DiBartolo's shop, signed by both Laini and Jim. And so I ordered one, like literally instantly, and I haven't even got it out of the packaging yet because it's too beautiful and I'm too scared to. But I cannot wait to read this. It's super short, it's like an 80-page graphic novel, but I am exceedingly excited for more Laini Taylor in my life. And more Jim DiBartolo. Also massive fan of his artwork from some of the things he's done for Laini Taylor before, so very exciting. Next up we have 2 books which I did get at Waterstones. When the bookshops reopened, I had to go on a little bit of a shopping spree, and I did get myself 2 books. I got Master of Sorrows by Justin T. Cool and The Rule of Wolves by Lee Bardugo, God almighty. So The Master of Sorrows is an epic fantasy book following, I think, like someone at a magic school, and I think it's chosen one trope, but like you have to work to be the chosen one, you're not just given it. And this is a book I've had my eye on since it first came out, and I just never got around to buying, and then finally decided I wanted, and of course, as soon as I decided that, the hardback is non-existent. You cannot buy it for love nor money, and I've been avoiding buying the paperback because I was like, it's a UK paperback, it's going to be stiff. And then when I was in Waterstones, I discovered it's really floppy, and so I was like, okay, I'll have the paperback, and it's absolutely stunning, and I know Ashley at A Frolic Through Fiction has recently read this and loved it, so I'm even more excited to get to it. And then obviously Rule of Wolves by Lee Bardugo. We all know the Grishaverse, we all know King of Scars. This is not that original. I read King of Scars when it came out. I have no idea when I will read this. At some point, I don't know when, but it was a case of, I know me, as evidenced by that book, I will forget to buy this until the hardback no longer exists and kick myself because I have the hardback of King of Scars. So I was like, I'm just gonna get it as I'm here and I've seen it. And it is very pretty, and I've actually been hearing very good reviews, which is nice. Look at that. But I'm excited to see that there's good reviews coming through because King of Scars got slightly underwhelming reviews overall, and I think I would probably agree with that. I gave it 5 stars at the time, but that was in a time where if it was Grishaverse, I was going to give it 5 stars irrelevant of what it was. So I am very intrigued to reread King of Scars and to read this at some point, but probably not particularly soon. And then the final few books I have are from book boxes. So starting off with the Illumicrate, we do have the March book, which was the Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. I do actually have the paperback of this from the publisher, but I do now have the stunning hardback with the red sprayed edges and really, really gorgeous under the dust jacket. Every empire demands revolution. I'm so excited for this. This is one, I don't know when I'm going to get to, but I hope soon. This, I don't know hugely what it's about, but I know it follows obviously a POC main character, and I think there's disability rep as well. And the line I always love is, through assassinations and massacres in bedrooms and war rooms, Terrain and Luca will haggle over the price of a nation, but some things aren't for sale. That's always what I'm obsessed about. I know there's romance in this, it's female-female. I mean, just look at the person, the main character, just, oh, so excited. Cannot wait. Heard amazing things. Everyone I know that has read it has absolutely loved it, and I cannot wait to join that bandwagon. And then also from Illumicrate, I do have Days of Blood and Starlight and Dreams of Gods and Monsters, the 10th anniversary hardback editions, which were Illumicrate exclusive. I got Daughter of Smoke and Bone in their Daughter of Smoke and Bone box with the blue sprayed edges, and it's stunning. So of course, when they went on sale, I did order the other 2 books with pink and orange edges. So when you hold them all up together, they are truly quite day glow and beautiful. Look at this. That's pretty cool. It's an absolutely gorgeous series. I'm not gonna be able to do that. I am obsessed with this cover art in general. I'll show them quickly. So this is one of the main characters. I won't say who because spoilers. And then this is another one of the main characters. They're just absolutely stunning, and I would have been happy just getting the new UK 10th anniversary paperbacks with these cover designs, but never going to complain about sprayed edges, and also so many pretty bits in these books. They also have a quote printed under the dust jacket. So this one says, "Mercy breeds mercy as slaughter breeds slaughter. We can't expect the world to be better than we make it." And they have artwork by Jim D. Bartolo on the inside of the dust jackets. So this is the one for Days of Blood and Starlight. Absolutely beautiful. And then for Dreams of Gods and Monsters, again, we have a quote on the back of the hardback, or the front of the hardback, which is this, in a gorgeous burnt orange. And this says, "People with secrets shouldn't make enemies, people with destinies shouldn't make plans." And again, the most stunning art here. Just look at it. Absolutely beautiful. I am obsessed with these so much. I'm so glad I have them. This does now mean I own 3 complete sets of this trilogy, which is possibly a bit excessive, but I make absolutely no promises that it's the last set I'm going to own either, because Laini Taylor is probably my favourite author of all time, so I have to own all of her books in every edition that exists. And then the final book is one I did get from Fairy Loot. I am not a subscriber of Fairy Loot. I've never been a subscriber. I probably won't be. But I did just have to buy this one-off book. And this is Raybearer. I had seen the Fairy Loot edition of this when it came out, and I wasn't obviously a subscriber, so I didn't think I'd be able to get it, didn't really think too hard about it. And then I saw people receiving it and saw how beautiful it was, but kind of forgot about it, assumed it was sold out, thought nothing of it, and then randomly got like a Facebook ad which said like, buy the book, and it wasn't that expensive, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll buy the book. So it's a little dinky hardback, which is adorable, with the gorgeous design on the cover. But this is what I'm obsessed with. Look at those sprayed edges. They are utterly stunning. It's just a gorgeous little book, and one I'm really excited for. So very happy I got this. It was not a bad price, and it came really quickly. So I'm just really glad, because I've been eyeing it up for so long and didn't even consider the possibility of being able to get it. So that was quite an exciting discovery. So that's all the books I got. I'm not going to attempt to hold them up, because I did get 20 somehow. Far too many of which I bought myself. Normally I'm at least pretty good at not buying too many myself. Though, for example, the Laini Taylors and the Unbroken, yes, they were bought, but they're just like an ongoing subscription or like something I pre-ordered months ago, so I don't feel too bad about it. I'm gonna try and justify this. But that's all the books I got, which is very exciting. I cannot wait to read all of them, apart from obviously the Lady Taylors, because I've already read them multiple times. But I am just so excited for every single one of these books. As always, thank you so much to every publisher and every one of you that sent me something. I'm still in awe of the fact that you guys send me things. That's never going to sink in, I don't think. But thank you so much. I will read them as soon as I can, but again, I make no promises because I cannot read 20 books in a month and I have so many books on my TBR. But thank you so much, and that is the end of the video. So I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Comment down below, did you get any really exciting books, like special collector's editions or something in April, I guess, would be where we're at. Subscribe if you'd like to see more content from me. Links down below are links to all of my other social media, as well as my wishlist and my Patreon, as well as the read-alongs and readathons that I host, including the readathon that I'm hosting throughout the whole month of June, if you want to check it out. But that is it for the video, so bye, and I'll see you in the next one.